Hi, I'm Natalie Madison of Art is in Cakes, where we give you the tools and the knowledge to build your passion for baking. And today we're going to show you how to Hey everyone, today we are here talking about dry fondant and its uses. Dry fondant is not to be confused with the pre-made, pre-mixed fondant for covering cakes. Now, this is designed for candy making primarily. I'm sure it has other uses, but today I wanted to go through how to use it to make your cream centers for your candies. So I have 1 pound bag of dry fondant. I'm just gonna slice that open and put the whole thing in my mixer. What is dry fondant, you ask? Well, it's very simple ingredients. Basically, it's a combination of pure cane sugar and invert sugar. Invert sugar is sugar that's designed or treated in a way to change its crystalline structure. Still cane sugar, but treated in a way to turn it into fructose. And that keeps your creamy centers from going granular later. All right, so there is my dry fondant, super easy peasy. We're going to add to that about 2 tablespoons of liquid. And that liquid can be your choice. So it can be milk or cream, it can be straight up water, it can be extracts and flavorings, or my personal choice today is going to be brandy. We're making pecan praline fondant centers, 2 tablespoons. So I got my little tablespoon measure. Just drop that right into the bowl. Nice. And then our next is about 6 tablespoons of melted butter. For those of you who prefer to measure in weighted measurements, that's about 84 grams. Additionally, I'm going to add some flavoring, specifically the pralines and cream. This is a concentrated flavoring by LorAnn oils. I love it. Since I'm making pecan version, just going to add a few drops of pecan praline flavoring using my dropper. These eyedroppers are designed specifically for these 1 gram bottles, which are great, but don't leave the dropper stored in your flavoring like that, as it will eventually corrode and eat through the little gasket. Instead, wash that off and put your normal cap back on. All right, so I have the dry fondant, butter, our liquid, which in this case was brandy, and a little bit of additional flavoring into the mixer bowl. And we are just going to use our paddle attachment and let that slowly blend together. If you wanted to add dry ingredients such as chopped candy or nuts, we'll do that right after it starts coming together. All right, it's starting to come together. This is a lot of nuts. We're actually only going to use about 1/4 of a cup. And this is a 1/2 cup measure. Just going to take about half of that and blend it in. A little bit more. This will slowly come together to form a ball of dough, which will be perfect for us to then roll into truffles. You can see the mixer's really having to work. If at any point you feel like your mixer is having a hard time, you can stop, take this out, and knead it on your work surface. This guy can handle it. Nice. All right, so we have our dough formed. One of the things I wanted to talk about was invertase. Invertase is a form of enzyme that when added to sugar, turns it into a liquid state over time. How much time? It depends. So it could be anywhere from 3 days to 3 weeks, depending on how cold your candies are, what kind of environment they're in. We would store our invert sugar in our dough at room temperature to allow this to happen. This is how you make cherry cordials. So 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of your dry fondant mix will eventually turn that into a liquid center. So instead of having a cream center, it then becomes liquid, such as cherry cordials. So I'm not going to use this today because I want to dip these in chocolate, but keep this in mind if you wanted to make cherry cordials. All right, open this guy up, slip on some gloves. And let you see how this works. So now we have a dough that holds its shape and stays together, and the pecans are nicely worked in. I'm just going to take little, you decide, little or small. This is probably about a ½ ounce ball of fondant. I'm going to roll it into candies, little round candies. Let them chill to firm up in the refrigerator, melt your chocolate, and then dip them. It's that easy, and you have amazing cream centers. You can also use these in candy molds by putting a bottom shell in your candy molds. Let that firm up, and then press this down into your individual shapes. And then cap it with your last little bit of chocolate. You've got candy-filled chocolate molds. All right, I'm gonna finish this, but you get the idea. Dry fondant is meant primarily for candy making those yummy cream centers. And I'm going to eat most of these myself. One of the things I like about this particular recipe is that it tastes very similar to Divinity without all the hard work. One tip for making standard size candies would be to actually put your dough on a scale and give yourself a measurement. Maybe it's 18 grams, maybe it's 40 grams, and weigh it out before rolling it up, and you will have consistently sized candies.